Very strong start. Make sure those filters are on. Yeah, yeah, I checked beforehand, but you know, always gotta make a double check on that. A little bit in my brain just says, you didn't check, even though I know it checked. I know that there is no music. uh, we'll get to that. Just bear with it. I'll hum for a minute or two. How about that? Good. That's a check. Don't mind me. Not doing anything. Totally not waiting on the tobacco here. Totally not. No. I am looking forward to this stream today, I can tell you that much. Oh yeah. It's gonna be a fun one. Got high hopes. Isn't that a Pink Floyd song, High Hopes? Pretty sure that's a Pink Floyd song. I'd have to look it up. I'm not going to do that right now. I gotta make sure I have my topics up here. Believe it or not, I do come prepared for these things. Oh, if you only knew. If you only knew how much I prepared for these things. Okay, that'll just about do it. Shall we get into it? Yeah, I think we shall. Hey there, hi there, Hyde here. Today we're gonna have something fun, I think. So, welcome to Black, or Fantasy Blacksmith Simulator. Specifically, the Nintendo Switch version. Look at how slow these cursors are. I want to show you something real quick. Okay, so these are the settings, right? You see the cursor in FOV? Okay. What if I move... I can't... Okay, that's just broken now. I can't go any further. I can't move it any further. I can't go to the right. Okay, that's fine. So, no. Off to a great start, isn't it? Oh, it hurts. It hurts. I can't go down further. I can't go over further. I am stuck. Isn't that great? This is a game they sell on Steam and the eShop. One second. That's the first time I've actually seen that happen. So I'm gonna have to restart the game. Yeah. If I can. Okay. Hold on. That's gonna happen quite a number of times today, I think. Yeah. This game is hilariously buggy. Like, it has so many bugs in it that I don't even know how they can legally sell this. It's not even a real game. So there's no way to increase... Oh, that's great. Just put me in the corner. The furthest away. I'll just crawl over to the play button here. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so bad. You'll notice that I have 2 save slots. That's because the first one is hard blocked. Here we are, Fantasy Blacksmith Simulator. We have a forge, we have a volcanic anvil. I've done some preparation off stream. As you can see, I have managed some resources. I have been playing this. It is very fun despite the bugs, I can tell you that much. It's very simple. You get some ingots, you put them in the fire. You light the fire with the bellows here that looks like an untextured pie. Yeah, just a slice of untextured pie. Isn't that great? Oh, I love it so much. Okay. So I can't increase the cursor any more than I have. That's unfortunate, because it is very bad. We just wait. It's a realistic blacksmith simulator. I really love it. Now, a lot of you probably don't know this about Hyde, but I really enjoy crafting games, and I really enjoy crafting media, right? There are a bunch of isekai stories out there about people who get crafting abilities. They become a mist, or maybe they become a blacksmith. There's a really good one about a blacksmith having a slow life. He gets all kinds of cheat powers, but he just decides to live in a forest alone with his disciples. Great story. But in terms of games, there aren't really that many blacksmithing games. I've been eyeing this one. I don't know. I think this game came out in like 2018, 2019, maybe 2020. The last update came in 2023, despite all of the bugs. And that was for the Steam version. This is the Nintendo Switch version, which is even worse with bugs. It has so many bugs in it. And usually, that's a bad thing, right? Usually that's a bad thing. Some cases, it is. But in my case, I'm going to enjoy it. I like the jank. I apologize for my voice. I'm once again sick. Yeah. So, I really enjoy the jank of it. Yes, it is a great story, living alone. Although technically he doesn't live alone. Hi, Diana. He lives in the forest with his disciples, you know? So it's not really alone. And he teaches them how to... Yes, that's exactly right. Look, if I had to be reincarnated into any isekai story, it would definitely be that one. Yeah. Although he has way too many interactions with people. Like one of his things, I can't remember the name of the isekai. I think it was Slow Life as a Blacksmith or something like that. I don't know. I've read too many isekai stories. I've watched too many isekai anime. It's too much. Also, do you see that clipping? These tongs here just clip through. That's great, isn't it? Oh, we have a customer. I would definitely pick that one to be reincarnated in, because he really didn't have to do much. Hello, customer. I can sharpen your sword. Just give me a few minutes. I'm slowly crawling to my grindstone. Also, the first time I saw this, I was really taken aback. Like, random anime characters out of nowhere. This game is very simple. It's so simple that even I can't screw it up while streaming. Get ultra famous? Oh, I'll never be ultra famous. Do you see me? I'm playing this buggy game on YouTube once a week. Thank you, master. Goodbye. You're welcome, random anime person. Yeah. Hopefully our forge didn't get too hot now. Yeah, I don't really foresee that being a problem. But even in the isekai story about the blacksmith, I can never tell if I have these tongs out with this forge. Even with that one, he still had people interacting with him, because he had to sell things to people. Yeah, every week. Almost. Anyone can see me every week. You know, nothing's stopping you, even if I don't stream. You can still see my content. Looking at it the other day, and I realized I have over 500 videos now. That's at least like a year's worth of content. Over a year's worth of content. It's ridiculous. Like, there used to be a period of time where I was uploading a video almost every day of the week. And I've slowed down on that quite a bit. Why is this not getting hot enough? Do you like this thermometer, by the way? It's just on a chunk of wood. Okay, we maxed it out. But it's still cold. Why is it still cold? Yeah. Nothing's stopping you from not watching my content. And that's technically seeing me. Yeah, it's very technically seeing me. Okay, we're out of coal. Let's throw some coke on there. Nothing like coke to get the fire going. You only have, like, one hand that you can actually use. It's fantastic. Inventory systems? Don't need them. Complicated mini-games that are just there to slow down the process? Absolutely need it. You also don't need the thermometer, you can just eyeball these things. Sure, sure. Interacting with Hyde, that's slightly different, yeah. That is true. Put that on the volcanic anvil. You get to see the forge system here, as I slowly crawl my way over. Oh, do you hear that? That Foley is fantastic. If this game were not a buggy mess, I would give it 6 out of 5 cigarettes. No problem. Yeah. It being the buggy mess that it is, and me having to restart from 0, I'm gonna have to knock down some cigarettes on that one. You wanna know the irony of the cigarette scale? I don't actually like cigarettes. In fact, I hate cigarettes. I hate the smell of cigarettes. I know but I can't stand the smell of cigarettes. It's a strange contradiction, isn't it? Oops. Oh, we missed. We missed. There we go. Yes, interacting with Hyde is slightly different. And I realize that's exactly why I do these streams, right? Pretty sure this is tungsten, by the way. There are different metals, and you can make your own alloys. I have a storeroom full of metals over here. That's coal, that's my human skull collection, that's iron. You know, I got a bunch of different things in here. Everything a blacksmith would need, right? I didn't want to get too far away, because this thing's gonna get hot. You can melt these, by the way, if you go away for too long. And that really reduces the quality of the sword. So you don't want to do that. You also want to make sure you hit it just right. Yeah, there we go. Now there is also a tempering feature, but it is ridiculous. Let me just make sure I have it. Yeah, okay, nice and hot. Nice and vibrating hot. That's what I like there in my swords. But I really do like crafting games, right? One of my favorite series is Atelier Ryza. And the Ryza series is very intricate. There we go. Very good. Sword is tempered. It took me forever to realize how to do that. The instructions are very, very difficult. What? What? Is it the Atelier Ryza series? Like, I really love the game. Never finished the entire series. I haven't finished the 3rd game, I'm at the final boss. And I didn't want it to end, right? I will tell you, however, there are like 5 maps in that game, and I had finished the crafting trees, and updated everything, and finally maxed everything out by, I want to say... Oh, I should probably put the fire out. Look at this is ridiculous. Just gonna pour some water on this coal. Or is it coke? It's coke. Coke burns faster. What was I talking about? Atelier Ryza? Yeah. Yeah, by the 2nd map, the midpoint, I believe it was. Let's make a sword. By the 2nd map, I had pretty much finished the entire crafting tree, made everything possible. And that is possible, by the way. I wanted to make sure that I got everything I could by the time that, as early as possible, so I could just one-shot bosses. That's how I like to play crafting games, by the way. Please, please let me make the sword. Please. Please. Please let me make sword. I have bugged this little assembly station before, and just randomly duplicated things. I've even... there's a minigame, right? So a random person can come and ask you to assemble their sword handle for you, and you can do that. And I've gotten, like, the blank sword from that before. It's just a bar of metal with some rods attached to it. Completely unique texture to the game. I wish I still had it, but I think that was in my old save file. It's gone now. Oh, I was talking about... Sorry, my brain is very hyperactive today. I'm very sleepy. Did I grind this? I don't think I ground this. No, I didn't. You can do this in either order. Wait, did I grind it? Maybe I ground it. We'll grind it again. It can't hurt. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is pretty bad. I'm watching it. I can see that. We've dropped about 20% of my frames tonight. Let's see if I can fix that. Big storm coming through, and that's probably affecting things. Whether it should or not. Water in the lines or whatever else is happening, who knows? Yeah. Did that fix it a little bit? Maybe. Probably not. I'm considering recording these. You know what? Yeah, why not? Give me a second here. Start recording. See if my computer can handle that. Might kill it prematurely. I still don't have the piece yet. Let's check our sword here. Too soon to tell? Too soon to tell. Yeah. Okay, so our forge quality was very bad there. That's okay. We have very nice swords on display too. The irony here is that everybody keeps asking me for very cheap swords. If you ask me for a cheap sword, I'm sticking a sword through you. Just so you know. Yes, I can sharpen your sword. Look at this. Looks like that guy from Naruto. What was his name? Sai? Pretty sure it was Sai. I didn't really watch that far into that series. I really like the original, right? Like, Rock Lee was the best. They should have just had more Rock Lee and less Naruto, and I would have absolutely loved that series. There's your sword. You're welcome. In the early game, you actually make more money per time spent doing that, just doing those random mini-games for people, than making swords, right? Because my reputation got so high, I now make double the money. I don't really know the logic to this game, but it's fine just to do it, right? Yeah. So basically, it's a busy work simulator. You just do one thing, you go to the next thing, you do another thing. I really enjoy it, though. It's a great time sink, and oh, there goes the internet again. That's unfortunate. You really have to manage things, though, and it makes me feel a little bit nervous to stream it. I really wasn't gonna stream it, but I really enjoyed the game, despite the bugginess. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Atelier Ryza. I got into Atelier Ryza because of a HoloLive talent. Let me just move my giant fang here out of the way. That's very much... Put it on... Yeah, right there on the shelf. My first save file didn't have shelves. I thought they were going to be unnecessary to have shelves, right? I figured I could just put everything on the floor. And it worked. I had piles, like I had a pile of these urns and other things over here in this corner. And I had a pile of ore here and some iron ore. Yeah, iron ore here. Ah, yeah, very good. Iron ore there. And yeah, it's just great until I bought something. Like, you see this smelter? It wasn't originally here. And there's also some equipment that goes right about here. And I had some iron ore right about there. So when I got that equipment, the game just would crash whenever I touched it there. Whenever I got too close to that corner. I think what happened was that iron ore was just continuously bouncing underneath between the textures, between the polygons, and it crashed my game every single time. What is this? Did I sharpen this? Yes, I did. Okay, I sharpened those. We can assemble those. It's very easy to level up in this game. And yes, there is a level up system, as you can see. We have both reputation and skill points. Oh, it is such a great game. I'm gonna I don't want to say fangirl boy over this game, because as awful as the controls are, let me just let me just get over here. There we go. as great as the controls are. No, please, please, I can't see it. It's actually very fun. Yes, Fan Man, that's right. I've been playing a lot of this. In preparation for this stream. I wanted to have a lot of resources, right? Because I didn't want to do a lot of mining. It's very dark. Like, I'd show you... Please. Okay. I'll work it out. You make me very disappointed. I just want you to know that, Sword. Please. Thank you. In preparation for the stream, I really wanted to have a lot of materials so that I wouldn't have to worry about it. The mine is very dark, right? Like, I have the brightness most of the way up on this game. The starting brightness is just ridiculous. I had to buy torches before I realized that I could turn up the gamma. Like, I'm very tempted to try and show you the cursor UI again. Like, you saw it break, but you saw it break in a very different way from how I'm used to it having broken. Usually what happens is it just reverts, right? So you click the cursor FOV thing, the sliders, and they just go back to wherever they were before. Please. Thank you. You know what? That's fine. Can I check? There we go. Yeah, look at that. Heat quality is excellent. Ignore the forge quality. Usually they just revert back to wherever they started. Drop it, please. Thank you. Let's use a bone handle. You like bone handles? Yeah, bone guard. These things you can get... That's not where that belongs. That goes over here. As you can see, keeping everything organized is very difficult. Unfortunately. Give me a handle. Give me handle. Give me handle. Thank you. Keeping everything organized, not great. I wish there were an inventory system. I wish you could stack things. I wish... Yeah, just take that one. I wish things were a bit easier to maneuver. But for a game that is probably not going to have any fixes, this is about as good as it's going to get. Do I recommend buying it? No, I absolutely do not recommend buying this game. Am I going to play this for like 50 hours? Absolutely. It's gonna happen. I think you have to be a very special kind of individual to want to play a crafting game like this. There's really no point to it. Sure, numbers can go up, and you can craft more swords, you can craft bigger swords. Like, one of the big draws about this game is that there's so much customization for the swords, right? I think in the advertisement it said over 170,000 variations. And I'd believe it. You can do everything from the shape of the sword, like these little sections here. Each one of those you can customize. The handles can be customized, the materials can be customized. Everything can be customized. And you can make magic swords too, as long as your game doesn't crash. Unfortunately, like, I'll be honest here, right? I wanted to make this series be about making cursed swords. This is copper ore, by the way. We're gonna put a copper... Oh, we're not gonna put a copper ore in. Just gonna put that back in there, then. I wanted to make this series about making cursed swords, because I thought that'd be a lot of fun, you know, making a cursed sword. And there are a lot of effects in this game, magical effects, where you can make it seem like a cursed sword, even if the game itself doesn't allow cursed swords. You know what? If this, oof. Oh, the save features in this game are awful, by the way. If I had one complaint, other than all of the other complaints I have about the bugs, and the unintuitiveness of the interaction with the game, it would be that. The save features are just awful. I'm very distractible tonight. I have not been drinking. I have not been drinking for a while. So my mind goes a mile a minute. That's just how it goes. We're gonna go down into the dark mines for a minute. Take some more resources out. Yeah. Ooh. This is the first time I've actually listened to the music of this game. Usually I've gotten trapped in these walls before, by the way. Those walls will regenerate on you for the most random of reasons. Surprising? What's surprising? How dark it is down there? How dungeon-like it is? Want to buy a cheap sword? See what I mean? Everybody wants the cheap swords. No one wants the expensive swords. I could give you an expensive sword. Go buy yourself a more expensive sword. Do you see all these swords I have on display for you? You could have any one of these, and instead you want a 350 gold coin sword. Oh, no drinking. I've been sick. You can probably hear it in my voice. I am very sick. In fact, oh, we just melted our ingot. Well, that's probably going to be 350 coins. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, expensive sword is more money, but it's a sword. Are you going to waste money on something that is, you know, not going to protect your life? You want a sword to be good quality, don't you? I would want a sword to be the most expensive thing that I owned. Otherwise, like, how are you going to cut through a dragon? You ever think about that? You think you're just going to cut through goblins? Well, goblin blood is sticky. Once your sword gets covered in goblin blood, it's going to corrode. I've seen it happen a dozen times. And the adventurers, they always come back saying, oh, I lost an arm, I lost an eye because of a goblin. Well, that's on you. You bought the cheap sword. Pretty high-end swords until I melt them. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a cheap sword. So they're going to be very happy about that. Yeah. Don't think most people are planning to slay dragons. You're right. Right. There is a feature in this game where people go on adventures with your swords, and you can get reputation from that. This is melted to hell. This is gonna be an awful sword. That's fine. That's fine. Sword is not tempered. Okay. Fantastic. Don't listen to the bubbles. The bubbles lie. Most of them go dragon slaying. Let's go into the mine. You know what? It's gonna take a while to heat up. Let's go grab some more ore. Start cleaning things. I wanted to do a series where I made cursed swords, right? And I thought that this place would be a great place for it. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can do magic yet, other than levitating torches on rocks and stuff. I can do that kind of magic, but that's not the kind of magic that I want to do. There are magic sword features in this game. There's Damascus steel features in this game. It has a lot of customization. Literally above a mine. Don't worry, we're not actually above the mine. This side is where our store is above. And I'll show you that later. It's even worse than you think. It really is. I was thinking the same thing, like, how far can I tunnel under my own thing here? Oh yeah, definitely molten. Good. Fantastic. It is very safe. Sword is not tempered again. Is it because I melted it? It's probably because I melted it. This game has a lot of fun bugs, and I want to showcase some of them tonight. It's not going to be great, because I can't trigger all of them. Like, as many as I can, I know I can show. There are also some that I know I won't be able to show. And there are some that I don't want to show, because I don't want to ruin my game forever. No, I'm not coming. You stay up there. I'm gonna put up the no disturb sign. Let me be a blacksmith. No! No, I'm not selling you a cheap sword. This one's molten. You can have it when I'm done. There we go. You can really just eyeball these. Like, there's a thermometer tool. There are 3 thermometer tools. And I don't think they're necessary at all. Sword is not tempered. Great, fantastic. Fantastic. We don't need to temper that. I'm just not gonna buy the thermometer. I know, Tempering in this game is pretty tough. You get like a second of leeway. Watch, that's the one customer who wants an expensive sword. No, none of them. I have never found a single customer so far that wanted an expensive sword. The most expensive sword people buy is, as far as I've seen, under 1800 gold. No one's gonna buy the 4000 gold sword. I made that with actual gold, by the way. That's another thing, right? Like, there are rarity things in the mines. You can even buy mithril ingots. It really is a fantasy blacksmith simulator. Okay, we have to wait for the fire to go out, like that. Then you get a second. But you saw that the sword wasn't tempered even before the fire went out before, right? So this game, it is what it is, right? Let's make sure this is cold enough. As far as crafting games go, it is something that scratches the itch, right? Oh, look at that metal. So pitted. Definitely gonna sell this as a bargain sword. Also, I have a very slight delay on my capture card, right? Like, it isn't that much because I only stream in, am I streaming in 1080? I think I'm streaming in 1080. Well, I'm, not sure. Yeah, I'm streaming in 1080, but it's only 30 frames per second, as opposed to your standard 60 frames per second. So my delay is very, very low as far as what's coming into my screen. So I'm not getting the timing messed up too much. It is messing with me a tiny bit, right? Like there's, I don't know, a couple tens of milliseconds to hundreds of milliseconds. It's something imperceptible for the most part. Like, I'm very happy with the cheap capture card that I have. Getting it for like, what was it, $6, $8? Something like that, I don't remember. It's, worked for me pretty darn well. It really does a lot of work. The only problem is it caps out at 1080, 30 frames per second. How much is that sword? How much is sword? Slam my head into the wall. How much is my sword? How much? How? There we go. Yeah, okay. Look at that. Heat quality melted. Very good. Very good. Now we have a cheap sword, if anyone wants it to be a cheapskate, you know. It's probably going to get very pitted. Definitely going to be awful. Ooh. You know what? We can check out the design feature here. So I made a mystery alloy. You know what? I'll show you that first. I made a mystery alloy with copper, iron, and titanium. And you can see that there are different temperatures here, and they kind of average out. This is one of my favorite blends because it takes a long time to cool, which means I can pretty much forge a sword without ever heating up my forge. Probably shouldn't do that. Oh, for mithril. You want mithril. Okay, I'll do it. We are proud to announce that Leganir the Stern defeated Steel Gorgon with a sword forged in your smithy. See? Some of them might be slaying dragons. They should be more wary of that, right? Ugh, I hate navigating this. So we have to go all the way to the mithril mine and get some mithril ingots. You can do this way. So you can either make your own ingots, like I was going to do out of the smelter, or you can buy them pre-made. And whatever you do, you have to make the sword, right? And this is really awful. They want a budget one, right? We're gonna make this as cheap materials as possible. I wish the cursor would actually be adjustable like it says it is, but it's not. That's like one of my biggest complaints with this game. When I play this in handheld, it goes a lot easier because it does have touchscreen integration, or whatever you call it. But you can customize the swords however you want. You can make them look really dumb. Let's make this one really dumb for the customer, right? They want a nice mithril sword. We'll make them a very stupid looking mithril sword. Yeah. Make it as thin as possible so that it slices real clean, right? There we go. Add the sword. There we go. And we gotta just slowly wait. There is an actual delivery time, by the way. You see that? 144 seconds? That's kind of ridiculous. They said under 2... Yeah, that is gonna be under it, right? We're gonna be way under budget. That's what they want, right? They want way under budget. We're gonna give them way under budget. Oh, by the way, once you're doing that, you can't order anything else. You see that? That's great. So while we're doing that, let's make this sword. Yes. And let's make this normal. Like, not an ugly sword. Let's just make it interesting. I like repeating patterns. I do. It makes it easier on me to know where to hit if they're all the same, like, thickness. Different interpretations of what? Budget? Look, if someone tells me they want a sword for under 2100 gold, I'm gonna make it as under 2100 gold as I can. That's my craftsman spirit. That's my guarantee to you, the customer. That's how I feel, at least, you know? Like, I want to make cursed swords. Is that such a bad thing? That I want to make cursed swords? No one wants me to make cursed swords. Ooh. Okay. We're gonna take a hit in the quality there. You see how that little square went black? Yeah. That's bad. But that's okay, you know? That'll just add to the finished lower quality that they wanted. Like, what do you expect me to do as a craftsman? Do you want me to make a good sword for under 2100 gold? The more money you pay me, the better I'm gonna do. That's how it is. I don't care about these tiny chump change offers. Really into medieval martial arts. Oh yeah. Actual... Like, I've seen some... what are they called? Recreational... fights? Where they do historical knight fighting? That's what it's called, right? Like, historical circles. Sword is not tempered. Fine. No, please. It looks really... It does look like an art form, right? Like, it isn't as flashy as in the movies. I bet he would have a lot to say about my designs. The designs themselves are pretty awful, aren't they? We only need to wait for this to heat up, right? Yeah. That'll be fine. I kinda don't like the customization system in this game. I don't think it's necessary. I'd have been happier if they just made the game work and there were fewer than 170,000 different variations of blade styles. I don't even have them all unlocked, you know? You gotta buy those. And I like to min-max things. I'd rather have cooler items. So, I'm not there yet. My designs are not great. Like, do you see all of these tiny little teeth? They're not good for slicing, they're more for stabbing. Like, you would slice. But they do refine the energy into the tip there, right? Just physics, you're putting more mass and force against a tinier area. So you're gonna get a higher pressure. Yep. So, in the sense that you're fighting knights or something with armor, I think these would probably be better, right? Like, that's why bludgeon weapons were so important. They became important when plate mail came back, right? No, it is definitely not a stabby stab blade. It's not a fencer's blade, it's not for stabbing, it's for swinging into plate mail, I guess. Which, I think it would actually work for plate mail. Just my biased opinion. It's pretty hard metal, I think. I'm not sure about alloys. I wanted to learn a lot about metallurgy, Like, that's one of the things that I regret not learning more about. I don't know enough about metallurgy and, exotic alloys, as it were. Like, there are a lot of alloys in this game that just don't work in real life. And, we're gonna say that matched world, right? I think that's how it's gonna go. Never too late to learn? Oh, it is. It is. My mind is gone. Whatever used to be my mind is long gone. However unfortunate that may be. You like my coal corner here? Yeah, I like my coal corner there. Believe in me. Oh, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. My mind is absolutely gone. It's been like that for a long time now. Why is my mithril not melting? I have it up to temperature, don't I? Like, what's the temperature of the mithril? Too late? Already believe? Well, that's on you. Like, the only person you're disappointing is yourself. I'm not gonna do it. I want to watch my mithril block here. I don't know the temperature for mithril, so I don't know how high it is. Do I even have a furnace that's capable of burning mithril? Maybe I don't. Maybe I should... Ugh. So slow. So slow. Mithril mine. Is there a better forge? No. No, there is not. So, I guess our forge gets up to temperature. We just have to wait. Or this block is unmeltable. There's a thing with neuroplasticity. The younger you are, the easier it is for your brain to rearrange itself, the neurons to form new connections, or in the case of traumatic brain injuries, re-establish them in rare cases. They can glob onto themselves, right? After a bit of time. My time for neuroplasticity is way over. I'm not saying it's impossible to learn things. I can. So long as they're not, like, short-term memories or something. Yeah, it's not impossible. But, I don't think it's gonna happen. You know? Like, this is a field of science, metallurgy, that requires a lot of complex mathematics and a lot of theorizing, and a lot of understanding of, like, eutectic points and tertiary diagrams. I can't even do tertiary diagrams for minerals these days. It's, no thank you. Are you hot enough yet? Why are you not hot enough? Can the coke get hotter? I don't know. In real life, coke burns hotter than coal, so in theory it ought to. Don't say that, you're not that... I'm from the Victorian era. I'm pretty sure I'm a lot older than you. Yeah? Yeah. That's fine. What was I talking about before? I know I wanted to talk about... Oh, yeah. Yeah, Atelier Riser, right? As far as crafting systems go, I think I prefer Rise's crafting system over this one. But this one has more of a realistic feel to it. Like, I applaud the game devs for doing that. There are all of these different... What is this block? Why is it not melting? Melt. Melt. How do I get it hot enough? Do I need, like, dragon fire to melt this? Liar, drunk, and... oh, look, it's finally hot. It's finally getting hot. Don't trust Drunk Hyde. Drunk Hyde doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, we can finally make that sword. This is gonna be a pain if I ever have to temper it again. So we have to make sure that, our one tempering job goes well. Oh, that is a disgusting texture, isn't it? Like, it looks like cream. Like, have you ever seen clotted cream? This looks like extruded cream, whatever that means. Oh, there goes quality. That's okay. They want a cheap sword anyway. Like, everybody wants mithril swords in fantasy stories. They don't care about the quality of the fantasy mithril sword. They just want it to be mithril, right? That's all they care about. I want a mithril sword. Well, you can have a mithril sword. It's just going to be an awful quality mithril sword. It's pure mithril, though. Spicy cream cheese. Yeah, it has that weird, wavy... It looks like extruded marshmallow. Have you ever seen extruded marshmallows? Like... they come off a roller, and before they're covered in their powdered sugar, they have that kind of really glossy, almost pulled taffy texture to them. I don't like it. It's very disturbing. I don't like this blade. I don't think I want to work with mithril anymore. Like, I was excited. This is the first time I'm working with mithril. I'm not happy about it. It makes me very uncomfortable. Yes. There we go. There's your mithril blade. Please. 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 Okay, we'll look from the side. There we go. It is a very gross looking sword. I don't want to make another mithril sword. Just throwing that out there. It isn't just marshmallows, it's anything with this texture, right? Like, it has a vitreous kind of texture. You ever heard the word vitreous, like glass? Yeah, that's a fun texture in mineralogy, too. Their sword is tempered. I really hate it. Like, anything with a vitreous texture just annoys me. It could be a mineral, it could have a repeating structure. Instead, it's glass. It has some kind of weird structure that is liquid. I don't like it. Right, I can't use tongs here. Too hot, need tongs here. Gotcha. Gotcha. What if I want to assemble it hot? You know, you're supposed to assemble the handle hot. That way, the handle... Oh, I thought I glitched out there. Oh, that's my pickaxe. You actually do have another hand in this game. That way, it burns itself onto the wood and carbonizes, right? No, I'm not a fan of stained glass. Yes, stained glass does have that texture. Any kind of blown glass also has that texture. Like, it's very globular. I don't know if globular is a word, but that's how I would describe it. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's not ideal. What would happen if I just gave them this sword without grinding it down? Do you think they'd be happy with it? I'd probably lose out on a good bit of money if I just gave them this dull, unsharpened sword. Okay. I probably wouldn't, if I'm being honest. Glass creeps me out. Like, this entire texture is just gross to me. If it's very smooth glass, I don't mind it. Right? Like, a glass bottle, or a glass, champagne flute or something like that. What is this sword? It looks so gross. Does that not look gross to you? Like how bubbly it is? Look, I'm sorry. I like colored glasses, I like marbles. There, look at that. We got way under budget for them. They'll be very happy when they come to pick that up, I'm sure. I like marbles. I used to play with marbles a lot as a kid. I still have a collection of marbles, and I really like the clear ones. But I don't like the bubbly ones that have globular texture. I don't know what it is. I also don't like marshmallow fluff because it has the same texture. Like, you've seen marshmallow fluff if you live in America, right? Everybody knows about marshmallow fluff in America. That's just a thing, that you can buy marshmallows in a jar. I need to buy new handles, don't I? It's not that I'm picky. It's just that certain things... Like, I'm not disgusted by a lot of things. Yes, I have a sword for you. I just made it. Yeah. Remember this one that we just made? The one that I melted? You can have that. Go fight some goblins. Did I level up yet? No. I'm not disgusted by the typical things that disgust people. Maggots, worms, corpses, things like that don't really disgust me. But when we're talking about textures that I don't like, I really don't like them. Let's buy some mithril guards there. We need some of these, right? Titanium, that's good. Handles. Worms are cute. Well, corpses aren't cute, but they're disgusting to most people, right? And I'm not talking about the smell, I'm talking about just the fact that there's a body. It disgusts people on an almost physiological level, right? Just seeing something dead is mentally disgusting because of the physiological effect of it all. I get that, right? But I'm not disgusted by what is essentially meat. You know, even if it's rotten human meat, it's not disgusting. It's just nature at that point, right? So I understand it, but at the same time, no. I'm disgusted by other things, like vitreous textures. Okay, let's get some iron in here. I really do, it's very easy. That's titanium? Yes. I like calling it Titan ore. That's cool. I wish more of these had fantasy-style names, right? Some copper, because we have a lot of it. Yeah. Mortician? I don't really like the smell of formaldehyde, if I'm being honest. I've smelled it so much that I'm used to it. I really don't like formaldehyde. I don't think you're supposed to breathe in formaldehyde, so that's probably a good thing, all considered. What is this sword doing on the ground? Right, I was assembling this, wasn't I? Otherwise, I probably would be okay with it. Working at night, perfectly fine with me. Not afraid of ghosts or anything like that. I need more handles. Where are my handles? We'll take that one. I have the right vibe for a mortician. Are you sure that's not Jekyll? I think Jekyll has the right vibe for... You know what? Jekyll has the vibe for a grave robber more than a mortician. I think Hyde would be a perfectly fine mortician, though. Working weird hours, late at night, not afraid of dead bodies. Yeah, I could see it. Like, it's a very quiet job, too. You don't have to deal with people, because you're just dealing with corpses. Like, I wouldn't want to be a funeral director, right? Because those are the front-facing people. Those are the people who talk to the grieving loved ones. And that's not really something I'm good at. Yeah. But a mortician, so long as you don't ask me to put, like, beauty makeup on them, I could probably do that. I could drain a body of blood, you know, all the clots in the blood, and, inject it with formaldehyde. That'd be pretty easy. And it holds the funerals. I don't know how I'd feel about id holding a funeral. Does that actually seem like a good idea to you? Like, would you want id to hold a funeral? Would he... Would he be someone you'd want to hold a funeral for you? I just came up these steps. I want you to know how unsafe these steps are. There's not even a handrail. Yes, I can assemble your blade. I think id would be the perfect person for a scam funeral home, right? I always thought that id would be like an aluminum house siding salesman, you know? One of those kind of door-to-door people who would sell you steak knives and a set. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a perfectly legitimate business. Except when you trespass, right? Never said it'd be a good idea. Yeah, he would kind of be... He has the monotonous droning voice that's very calming, doesn't he? Like, I could see that. He has the... sort of... Oh, yeah. What? Oh, you're welcome. Hello? Hello? Can I help you? Yes, I completed your order. Go kill a goblin. Thank you for doing business with me. Look at that, we leveled up. Yeah, he has the monotonous drone that makes him very easy to listen to when, you know, you're supposed to be listening. Like, he's very calming, you know? He's never high energy, he's never upsetting. And, he can just talk to you about, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to mourn the loss of this pet squirrel. This pet squirrel was a fantastic squirrel. He would let you... Why can I not put this in there? This happened before. Did we just do the assembling mini? Oh, okay, good. The assembling mini game is sometimes broken in that, it makes invisible duplicates that you have to put on a new sword, whether you want to or not. So, there is that I have to worry about. Exactly. Yeah, that's perfect. I'll tell you a bit about my id voice, right? At first, I wanted to do the Texas Baptist kind of style, you know? Something brimstone and hellfire. Southern Baptist with mostly Texan drawl. Why can I not put this on here? Please let me put the handle on here. Oh, I already have a guard on there. That's why. I need the handle, not the guard. Is sort of... School counselor is really what I was going for. And I wanted it to be a real up close and personal kind of voice, you know? Yeah. I wanted it to be up close and personal. And you could hear how much he isn't genuine. But he's trying to let you know that he cares. Just like a school counselor. That's how I feel. Yeah. Also a little bit of Kermit the Frog. Don't know where that came in. But it is what it is. Like, I should probably just make normal swords without these spiky bits, right? Like these spiky little bits at the end. These tiny little sawtooth serrations aren't gonna do anything. We need a stabby sword. Can we do a stabby sword? Yeah, break that right off. Like an ice pick. Why not? That'll be great. These little serrations on the sword blade, they do have a purpose, you know. Not just for plate mail. When you add those to a sword, it causes rips and tears in the flesh, which are very hard to... Well, they're actually better to sew up, but you wouldn't have been sewing these things up in the Middle Ages, would you? I don't actually know too much about medieval medicine, so maybe you would have. It's quite possible that you would have. I don't think so. I don't think sutures were known back then. I think at best they would just wrap it with cloth and hope that it works. And actually packing a wound is very useful. Like how much should I talk about this kind of thing? Is YouTube gonna get mad if I talk about how to pack a wound? Like, a lot of people don't know this, but you're actually supposed to roll up the cloth and put it into the large wound, right? That's putting pressure on the, on the wound itself, which you want to do, right? You want to close up wherever it's bleeding from, and if that happens to be a large gash in your body, then yeah, rolling it up and putting pressure on it to keep that rolled up material inside of your body is actually what you want to do. There's your first aid tip with Hyde today. Sewing wounds is something that was done. I don't know if it was. Like, you have a friend who was into the knight and medieval stuff, right? So I'm gonna take your word for it. I guarantee infection was definitely a lot higher. Why did I come up here? You ever go into a room and wonder why you go there? Then you just forget? It's exactly what happened to me. I have no idea why I went in there. But yeah, infection was definitely much higher back then. It's not like hand washing wasn't known, but a lot of water sources were less than sanitary, as it were. I can't remember the first geologist to learn about groundwater flow. This is tungsten. It's a good ore. Yeah. But, it was in Paris. So that tells you a little bit. They did well studies with Paris groundwater, and they concluded that infections could travel via polluted water, right? That's what happened. Which is great, right? I want to show you something cool. Yeah. I need a torch. Where are my torches? I don't want to take that one. That one looks cool. I'll take this one. Ouch. 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 We're gonna dig. I want to show you something cool. But yeah, they would take samples from groundwater, and they would see the contaminants, and they would see that the groundwater was moving from one area to the next. So infected wells or unsanitary dumps would grow or would flow underground. Very important stuff. First sutures date back to at least 3000 BCE. Yeah, but I meant in like medieval Europe. I don't know, like, they're called the Dark Ages for a reason, right? They're in Europe especially, a lot of information was lost, right? And that's not to say that that information wasn't known beforehand, because it's absolutely true that a lot of information was known beforehand, and it was only lost during the Dark Ages. A lot of information just wasn't spread to the peasants, and a lot of it got lost amongst the people who were actually educated. There were a lot of competing theories, and a lot of competing theologies, as the case may be. Yeah, I don't know too well. Like, I know that there were people attempting brain surgeries in the ancient times. And yeah. What was it called? Tympanic? Where you drill a hole in your head? I'd be very interested in knowing that. The advancements of medieval Europe especially. Because that does seem like the kind of thing where information was just lost. And I know information culturally, education-wise, was lost. I don't know too much about the medicine, though. Yeah, unfortunately. You want a cheap sword? No, I don't have cheap swords. Buy an expensive sword or leave. Yeah. It's unfortunate, right? Like, everybody thinks that Enlightenment thought was this great big thing. But really, it was just a return, right? Like, for whatever reason, our species decided, learning bad. Knowledge from past bad. Experiences from past not apply. We'll just do our own thing. And you know what? They kind of made it work. They created a pretty cool period of time. High infection rates, high mortality rates, peasants that, you know, had a whole caste system of society where you were pretty much stuck doing whatever labor you were told to do. Yeah, pretty good time. It worked out for them. Until it didn't. And we had the plague. The Great Plague. Sounds familiar. Well, you know, human hubris. That's all I can say. It really is. What is that? I have no idea. Is that a skull? I think it might be a skull. Should I add it to my skull collection? I don't know. Yes, smiley face. One of my favorite movies, not my favorite movie, but one of my favorite movies, is Idiocracy. It's it's pretty great. Idiocracy is about a perfectly, yes, egg. It's a human egg made from a skull. A human egg. That's a skill book. We'll take that. Oh, right, we can level up. I forgot about that. There is a level up system in this game. We're gonna put all of our new levels into mining. There we go. We'll go faster in the mining. I want to show you something cool. We're digging under my base. Idiocracy is about a military experiment, right? Where a perfectly average person from the modern era gets put into a capsule for suspended animation. and then he gets revived in the far future. And the average IQ has dropped tremendously over his period being in that suspended animation pod, and he becomes the smartest person alive. And I really like the movie. I think it has a lot of interesting points to it. It has a lot of... Well, if you think there's an anti-intellectual bent to certain places or times, you will enjoy the movie, I think. It's very crude, very vulgar at points, very lowbrow humor, but I really enjoy it. It's just one of those fun, turn your brain off moments. And just go with the idea of what would happen if... No, I'm not going up there. You just want a cheap sword, I know. You just want cheap swords. Everybody wants cheap swords. I don't make cheap swords unless I melt them. They won't leave me alone. I can hear them knocking. I can hear them knocking. I can hear them knocking in the wall. It's like the telltale heart. But instead of, you know, a heart under the floorboards, I'm under my floorboards, and I hear knocking anyway. Right? It's not ideal. So, I actually dug all of this out before. I know what's on the other side of this wall. I just have to get to it. I just have to get to it. It's not a human egg. It is going to be great. It's going to be worth it. You just have to give me a moment here. Someone knocks, telltale heart. Usually when someone knocks at my door, I ignore it and assume that they don't actually need to see me. And every time I've ever done that, I was right. Like, if it's a person delivering a package for me, they'll just leave it on the doorstep. It doesn't matter. It's perfectly fine. They don't need to see me. Oh, there's a fire at your neighbor's house? I don't care. I don't care. Family wants me to go out? No. No, they don't need to see me. So yeah. Here we are. We're getting there now. We're getting somewhere. We're gonna get under this base. We're gonna see what's on the other side of this wall. Do you like the clipping, by the way? Like, I can dig through the wall without going through the wall. Isn't that great? I think that's great. Like, what's over there? Do you see that? Do you see that over there? Is that a... What if the love of your life, a tiny kitten? Someone wanting to give me $1,000? $1,000 is not nearly enough for me to open my door. I can guarantee that's not what I'm gonna get from opening my door, by the way. See this? It's the other side of the wall. It's just a black chasm, empty. And it's even worse in some places, like you can actually fall off into the void. It's fantastic. We're gonna do that. I do know what I'm missing out on. I'm missing out on being bothered by people. So, I can avoid that. Yeah. Really, there's no need for people to talk to me, for the most part, through the door. They can call me. They can leave a text. Okay. That's probably how it's gonna have to go. If you want to get a hold of me, just text me. Like, you don't have to even talk to me. Just text me. It's not that hard. Like, I'm so glad that most of my appointments are confirmed via text nowadays. So that I don't even have to worry about. I think you get a very biased view of me, you know? I'm not a very sociable person. I'm really not. I don't mind. I really don't. But I'd rather not if I don't have to, you know? Like, I'm very happy if you find me pleasant to talk to. I'm very happy if anyone finds me pleasant to talk to. But at the same time, I really do think that it's a very biased opinion, right? Like, I stream for what? An hour every week? And I put out these videos that really ought to make some people wonder, right? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I were on a watch list or something somewhere. What am I doing? I need to go through this wall. This is the wall I need to go through. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if I were in a watch list. Absolute demon. No, I didn't. I didn't mean demon. Hope for what? I'm just a human, you know? I have all the faults and foibles of a normal human. Any other human. Okay. I'm going to fall into the void. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna jump. Gonna jump into the void. See, there's our roof, or there's our ceiling. See that? That's where our base is. And down there is the chasm abyss. Why is it there? I have no idea. And there we are. We fell through the world. And now we glitched our textures a little bit, I think. And our elevator's down here. So we have to break our legs to go back down. It's fine, right? Eventually this will regenerate. So it doesn't really cause too many problems. Is there anything here that I actually want? There's another skill book. I'll take that. Always leveling up is good. If I stand here long enough, these walls will regenerate. Because I already dug through here once. It is such a big problem that there is actually a button to reset position. There's also a button to find last sword, because when you drop the sword, it can sometimes bug through things. So yeah, that's a good it's a good button. But the reset button, that saved me a few times, right? What was I doing? I was probably making metal, right? Also, this pickaxe is very poorly made. I hate it. It's mithril. Do I have metals in here? Yes, I do. Very good. I don't know. I like the game, but it has problems, okay? I'll show you another problem this game has. Hold on. This is a fun one. So if you crouch, you can get in here, and I think if I'm careful... Nope, wrong book. I think I can make myself disappear. I have to be quick. I have to be nimble. I have to glitch myself a little bit here, I think. I want to do it. Maybe they fixed it. It's quite possible. Fine. Map. What do we want to buy? We want to... Ooh! There's new stuff. What do we have? The dragon. No. What do you have in the forge? Ellendor. I don't need Ellendor. Give me tungsten. Give me actual metals that I know what I'm doing with, you know? Handles made of ivory. I do like ivory. Great trade. Absolutely support No, I do not support ivory, please. Dragon waifu? You know, there are a lot of dragon waifus in the isekai. What is that? Dragon lava? I want dragon lava. That sounds like a cursed sword material, doesn't it? Like, burning your hand on dragon lava? Why not? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there are a lot of dragon waifus in isekai media. Oh, I missed it. I wonder what would happen if I stood under here. Do you think I could? Do you think I'd be crushed? I think I'd probably be crushed, yeah. I could probably get stuck down here pretty easily. Dragon waifu. I can't think of any off the top of my head, other than like Dragon Maid. Can I do it from behind? No. Smart. Aha! Now what? Now what? You can't do anything. There's an invisible cart here. Like, There's a hitbox right here. Do you see this? No, we're not talking about Kylie. I do want to talk about the project, though. We're not talking about Kylie. Please do not encourage Jekyll in that one. But, yeah, Jekyll. He likes to be a big Jekyll about things, and there are some topics I just don't want to cover, you know, on the channel. And he pushes my buttons every single time. Yeah, it's true. The project came out. The first half of the project came out, and I'm very happy for it, you know? I'm very happy for the first half of the project that came out. Sense of history here. It isn't a history, it isn't even a big deal. It's just something on the internet. Why didn't I edit it out? Because, I let Jekyll do it. Yeah, Jekyll was editing for that part, and he made sure that it was added. Unfortunately, you don't get to see all the deaths of Hyde. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. There we go. Just had to glitch my way up there for a second. What was I doing? I was probably smelting things. Because I thought it would be funny to mention it. A little wink and a nod to people who know. The Extreme Ghostbusters was a Disney series, a cartoon based on the Ghostbusters. It was a continuation of, like a sequel to the real Ghostbusters, which was the cartoon version of the Ghostbusters. They had to call it the real Ghostbusters because there was an older Hanna-Barbera show called the Ghostbusters, right? And it was completely different. So the name The Ghostbusters was already taken as a big to-do, and because it was a cartoon, they couldn't call it The Ghostbusters. So they had to call it The Real Ghostbusters. And the sequel was called The Extreme Ghostbusters, and it was very 2000s. Everything was like, oh, goth, and everything was, oh, punk, and everything was, yeah, stuff like that, right? And it was very much a product of its time, so there is that element of it. If you've never watched the Extreme Ghostbusters, probably don't. Like, episodes of the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon from the 80s, or maybe it was early 90s, I can't remember. Maybe it was early 90s. Can't remember when it came out. I do recommend that, though. Some of them are legitimately scary. Like, some of them are absolutely terrifying. Like, the Boogeyman is real, and the Boogeyman, that kind of creeped me out as a kid. But some of them are just real ghosts, right? Some of them are just ghosts of things. So there's a variety of ghosts in the real Ghostbusters cartoon. In the Extreme Ghostbusters, the music is awful. The only saving grace is Kylie Griffin, because it's Tara Strong. Sword is not tempered. That sword was tempered. Right. Oh, that sword was tempered. You know that sword was tempered. Any character voiced by Tara Strong, pretty good, you know? Tara Strong has quite the range for her voice. Can I sharpen your sword? Yes, I can. And I gotta say, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of her work. Tara Strong is up there with Mark Hamill when it comes to voice acting. Like, a lot of people know Mark Hamill from Star Wars, right? Like, he's Luke. You know Luke. If you know nothing else about Star Wars, you know Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. And you know the big reveal that, yeah, maybe I shouldn't spoil it, but you know. Mark Hamill was also the Joker in a lot of animated Batman and, oh, I already have stuff here, Justice League stuff. So Mark Hamill's voice is one of those other voices that I'm just a big fan of, right? Like, his Joker voice is fantastic. He is the Joker, as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people say, like, their favorite Joker was Heath Ledger. No one says it's Jack Nicholson. No one says it's whoever else. Cesar Romero. Is that a joke that anyone's gonna get? In the 60s, there was a Batman television show starring Adam West, who was an actor that most people probably know best from, I would say, what, Family Guy these days? Because Adam West appears in Family Guy sometimes. Yeah. Adam West starred as Batman. Nope. Yeah, most people don't know this. It is completely irrelevant to the Batman mythos. But Cesar Romero, I believe his name was the Joker. And he was famous for one thing, being the Joker. He famously refused to shave his mustache. So they had to apply extra clown makeup over his mustache to try and hide it. It was like, oh, who was it? Superman guy, what was his name? Henry Cavill, who didn't want to shave his mustache for Superman, I think it was, right? Yeah. So they had to CGI it out. That was the early version of that. Cesar Romero with his mustache. And Joker. As Joker for Batman. It's good stuff, right? Sword is not tempered. Are you kidding me? The fire went out, you saw it. Yeah, I'm a font of worthless knowledge. This is why I can't learn new things, though. I'm gonna put you on my skull shelf. Put you right here on my skull shelf. Next to my other skulls. I also have a collection of bracelets here. Just a bunch of worthless bracelets that I can't do anything with. Isn't that great? I wish I could do something with the bracelets. You can eventually. You can also just throw them out, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. Oh, I was going to talk about the project, wasn't I? Yeah, I'm finally releasing part of my project. I've released it. Very happy about that. A little unhappy that I only released the first half, but that's all I have done, and I'm very concerned about losing progress. I haven't even started editing the second half because of that. If I start to edit the second half, I could very easily lose any of the progress I made, simply because of my computer issues at the moment, which I do not have the part for. Makes me nice to listen to. What, the font of worthless knowledge? Yeah, it isn't quite as good as Northern Light. That's unfortunate. Yes, I do have a nice sword for you. You want to buy my cheapest sword. Okay, fine. We are proud to announce that Galadros the Indomitable defeated damned vampire. Okay, so we got a Dracula Slayer here. Very good, well done. I'm no Northern Lion, I get that. I just try my best. We melted this. Oh, we wanted to temper this, didn't we? We didn't want to forge. Yeah, I'm not really a Northern Lion. I don't have the ability to just endlessly talk about media. There, magic. You can very easily fling these things out of the world. I've seen it happen. Come on. Come on. Endless water can. It's... Why do I have two swords here? Where did that come from? Okay. Okay. Cool it first. He has a fantastic knowledge about media, right? And I stopped watching media when I started going to college. I was one of those nerds in college. You know, the type that never goes to parties. Like, I went to, like, 2 parties in college. And they weren't very wild parties either. They were just parties, right? Little get-togethers between people. You know, just small enough that you could fit in a room, probably. More than you? Ooh. Distracted me. Yeah, well, it wasn't my idea to go to a party. I can tell you that much. If I had my way, I would have gone to 0 parties. What I did most nights was study rocks. I would look at rocks until my eyes bled. They didn't actually bleed. They were just very scratchy, as one's eyes get when you stare at dusty things, and you move dusty things in front of your eyes. Like, it's remarkable. Rocks are very dusty. A lot of rocks. Would you believe that if I told you that? That a lot of rocks are dusty? Like, most people don't even think about it. But if you handle a bunch of rocks in a box, they start breaking apart. Someone needs to buy my swords. Please. Please buy my swords. I have too many. I don't have enough storage space. Oh, look at that. We didn't melt it. Very good. Yeah, it's surprising. It's almost like erosion. Physical erosion's happening in real time. I need to grind this one. Grind. Yeah. No, what? No. What? Did you see that? It just jumped on me. Okay. Oh, I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. Yeah. So I spent a lot of my time just... Why am I grinding in already grounds? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm not losing my mind. I'm not losing it. I'm not. I swear. No. So, yes. Yes, I did that a lot. I'd spend most of my nights. No, leave me alone. No cheap swords. Doing that. Back to my project. Going up the stairs backwards. I really like the Ghostbusters. Like, I don't know if that came across, but the Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies. It's not my favorite movie. I think I've talked about my favorite movie before. Maybe. I don't know if I have, though. It is a Bill Murray movie, and a Harold Ramis movie. So that should tell you something. Yeah. Those two together make me very happy with their movies. And unfortunately, Harold Ramis, rest in peace, is no longer with us. So... I don't know how to feel about, you know, these new Ghostbusters films coming out. Like, I haven't watched Afterlife, and I don't think I will. And I haven't watched the Frozen, whatever it's called, because I don't think I will. It came across. Yeah. I'm glad it came across. This very much was a passion project for me. Like, I really like the game, too. I played the original, not the remastered version on Steam, a long time ago. Like, we're talking, I want to say before college, you know? Or maybe during college. Somewhere around there. Early adulthood, right? Oh yeah, look at this sword. This sword looks dangerous. Just clips through walls like butter. Unfortunately, I don't have any more space for swords. What am I gonna do about this? I don't know. You kidding me? It's a cheap sword? Okay, fine. Yeah, I really like the movies, though. And I really like the game. And... I really wanted to make this project. It's something that I thought I could only do as Jekyll and Hyde, right? Because... no, that's backwards. I wanted to do a project that I could only do because I was Jekyll and Hyde, right? Something that would be benefited from being a PNG tuber, Jekyll and Hyde. I could just make my voice different, but having the physical representation made me more confident about distinguishing the characters. And I'll tell you what, it made editing things a lot easier too. Just to throw out some numbers, yeah, I'll give you a quick peek behind the scenes here. This thing was not made all at once. This project was done in pieces, as it had to be. I can't be two people at once. I can switch pretty quickly, but if you want banter back and forth, like Jekyll harassing me, I need to be... I need to script that. So sorry if that breaks some of the movie magic, but it was very scripted. What I ended up doing was recording the gameplay, and I really wanted to do a full mission, because I thought that would be a nice self-contained unit that I could just do one video on, and if I liked it, maybe I could continue as a stream game, because I really do want to finish the game. The only thing keeping me from playing it right now is the fact that I have not... As soon as you start doing anything in this game, someone knocks on your door. Very realistic, yes. Even Jekyll and Hyde couldn't be in the same place at the same time. But, hello, I'm searching for ancient artifacts. No, I do not have any ancient artifacts in my artifact container drawers. I don't have any. Completely not there. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I don't know. It is pretty realistic to have people knocking at your door when you're trying to do things, too. Like, it's very hard to move things in this game. Like, you see all this garbage on the ground? It doesn't despawn. I'm pretty sure I could break this game if I ordered a dozen torches and just put them down here. Because of those light effects, I guarantee this game would just immediately break. No problem. I could do it. I'm not going to do it, though, because I don't want to spend all the time on this again for a third save file. So I haven't bought new things yet, either. I can buy magic things. Let me through. Let me through. Let me through the ore hole. Thank you. What was I talking about? I lose my train of thought so easily when I don't drink. Like, have you ever had that effect? I can't think straight. My mind just goes too quickly. Please let me pick up the copper ore. You know what? This is the problem. Right here. We're gonna get rid of that. Very realistic. Sobriety. Making it... Oh, or ducking? Why did I throw it over there? Opposite of what you'd expect. Yeah, that's true. Did you just regenerate on me? Just regenerated on me. Here's a fun fact for you. A lot of people think that hallucinations are the result of an overactive mind. But really it's the opposite, right? Like, an underactive mind is creating those hallucinations because it expects more sensory data. For me, I have so much going on in my head that I can think more clearly when there's less of it going on in my head. It's not that I hallucinate, I don't have that symptom. It's not even close. Makes sense, actually. Yes, it does. Science is a strange thing. One of the fantastic things about science. Did we get into that in the Ghostbusters video? I can't remember how far we got. At one point, Jekyll will, or did, have a little rant about science. I don't know if that's going to be in the second half, if I ever finish it, or if that was in the first half, but that did happen. I'm getting stuck in these walls again. Vaguely? Okay, I don't know. But, yeah, I like science, too. I like the topic of science. Buy copper ore. Discussion in science and scientists not being evil. Yeah, maybe that was it. I can't remember. As I was saying, like, Here's a fun fact. I recorded the voice lines 3 times. I recorded every single voice line 3 times, and then I went back and recorded extras. You probably noticed that there were some different size issues. Some Jekylls and Hydes were smaller or bigger. No, I do not have any ancient rare artifacts for you. Sorry. That's what happened. I had some dead air that I wanted to fill because it just wasn't right? Like, there wasn't enough content. I felt like there were silences that I wanted to fill. Like, when I was... Why did you do that? Why did you do that? When I was scripting, I was watching the video, which is an hour and roughly 9 minutes. I watched it a couple times. I tried to make relevant comments, or I tried to have Jekyll harass Hyde in an elf down here with the other drinking stuff. That makes sense to me. There's a method to my madness of organization here. Yeah, there is. I watched it a couple times. I started writing little throwaway lines and different ideas. This is tungsten. Yes. And eventually I started putting together a script, but I didn't know how long the periods in between things would be. Like, I made a rough timeline. I actually sat down, I put like minute 22, 36, end cutscene, and what was going to happen before that or after that. And I wanted there to be silence during the cutscenes. I thought, A, that'll give me less to edit, less to record, and B, people probably want to hear this story if they like Ghostbusters. I would. I like Ghostbusters, and I want to hear the story. Unfortunately, it did not work out that way. Like, some of the things that I wrote were too long, so I had to cut them. And some of them were too short, so I had to go back and record even more voice lines for them. So there's a bunch... You know what, that's fine. So there's a bunch of cut content that I don't know if I'll ever release somehow. Well, one of the interactions is pretty fun, so maybe I'll release that too. I don't know. I think it'd be a lot of fun. You see this wall? Just regenerated? That wall wasn't there before. It's slowly filling back in. It's encroaching. Magic, right? I think it's magic. There we go. It's okay. We don't need those materials. It's fine. We can let them be. We'll just grab what's over here. The wall taketh, the wall giveth. All things, ash to ash. Clearly magic rather than science. What makes you think it's magic? Is it the floating boulder? This is my favorite thing. I want to do a bunch of this from now on. Like, whenever I have a need for a torch stand. Like, you can't put torches down, by the way. I have been forcing torches down to make it bright. Just like that. Oh, I want to make a bunch of these floating, like... I guess torch holders. Yeah, because I said so. That's how it works. The project, though, I had a lot of fun making it. And I'm very happy with how it turned out, except for, like, little minor details. Like, this is too long, I was talking over the cutscene. I can fix... Going forward, I could probably make that better. And I could have probably fixed it if I had more time to edit. But as it is, I am happy with how it turned out. And I'm happy to release it, because it meant a lot to me to make this project. It was definitely a passion project for me. And on this channel, I like passion projects. That's why I play games like this. It's a very buggy game. But I can tell how much love was put into it before they stopped putting love into it. Last January, roughly a year and a month ago now, I had a Jekyll and Hyde movie night, right? Pretty sure you were there for that. I don't know if anyone else was here. Probably. Maybe? I don't know. But, ever since then, I wanted to have more interactions with Jekyll and Hyde, and I wanted to do it better, right? Like, a lot of my projects are just me taking an idea, doing it for the first time, and being like, oh, that's cool. But I want to do it better. And that's what I did. The first BFE video I ever did was not great. So I made another one. Exactly same, or, well, it wasn't the same script. It was the same idea, slightly different script. And I ended up making the exact same idea, but doing it better. I like that. I like seeing progress. I like seeing growth. That's what I like. That's why I create. It's a very personal process, or very personal, selfish goal, I guess. I don't know. But there is something selfish in my creation, and I acknowledge that. I'm happy if others enjoy my content, but largely it's self-actualization, I think, is what draws me to creation. Haven't been to a movie night yet. You haven't? You missed it. Ooh, I can't believe you missed it. I can't... Oh, we've done like 2 movie nights. That's another thing I wanted to do. Another favorite movie of mine has recently come into public domain. So I wanted to do another movie night. But that was like last year. I don't really see selfish as bad, right? Some people would call it self-centered, right? And they'll say that self-centered isn't bad. But I don't think selfish is bad either, right? I think you've got to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. A lot of people think like that. I'm not special for thinking like that. But I take it to an extreme sometimes, right? Yeah. And I do a lot of things just for my own benefit. And if I were doing it entirely for my own benefit, I guess I wouldn't be sharing it, right? Like, I don't know. I'm happy to share it. It makes me feel better to share it, in fact, because I feel like... You know, being an adult, right? Like, when you start being an adult, you don't know what you're doing a lot of the time, and you don't know how to be an adult, so you just do things you think an adult would do, and you realize that it's slowly crushing your will to live somehow. You gotta take some time for yourself, right? That's what I realized. You gotta take some time for yourself and do things that help you not get crushed by the world around you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I am too. By the way, I almost forgot to take my multivitamins today, but I remembered because of that stupid interaction with Jekyll. That is a real conversation I've had with myself. Did you remember to take your multivitamins today? Yes, I did. Isn't that great? Yeah. Yeah. Yay. I don't think it's selfish to want to better yourself, you know? I really don't. Not in the sense that most people use the word selfish. I think I'm using the word selfish in a nicer way than most people would use it, right? When most people say you're selfish, it's used as kind of an insult. Me, not so much. I think being selfish is a good thing. I do not have any cheap swords. Please, please buy one of the expensive ones. I have a full wall of swords. Please buy an expensive sword. I don't know what they want from me. They want cheap garbage. You know what? We're gonna make a cheap garbage sword then. We're gonna make a cheap garbage sword, and we're gonna sell it. Here we go. We're gonna make a cheap garbage sword. You want cheap garbage? Alright, we can make cheap garbage. Here. 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 Oh, did I finish talking about my point there? They want capitalism swords. They're gonna get worse than capitalism swords. They're going to get... no politics. No politics. They're going to get a block of iron is what they're gonna get. We need to have a tang. We have to have a tang. That's essential. That's where the handle goes. So we're gonna make a tang. Yeah. Very good. And we need a pointy bit, because that's what goes into people. The pointy bit. Yeah. We need a sharp tip. This was really my original idea, the stream, making cursed swords. So I'm very happy to be doing it. No, I didn't finish my point from earlier. I don't even remember what my point from earlier was. Sword is tempered. Let's grind it. Oh, we should probably cool this first. What was my point from earlier? Do I have it in my notes? Probably not. Does any of this look familiar? No. No. No, I don't think so. I don't know. Oh, it was about the movie, wasn't it? The movie night. Oh, that one too. This is a... what? I forged it. It's tempered. I forged it. You're telling me this isn't a sword? It's a sword. Look, it has a tang and everything. Okay, we'll make it a sword. A lot of people, they get upset when they're called selfish. I don't say it as an insult. We'll talk about the movie stuff later. I don't see it as an insult. I see it as part of, like, the hierarchy of needs that you need to be selfish. A lot of people think that altruism is always good. I don't think so. You know? I've seen a lot of people give until they don't have enough for themselves. And that's always worried me. I know people like that in real life. They'll just keep giving until they have nothing left. And, no, you've got to take care of yourself before you can do something like that. So when I say selfish, it's not an insult. And it's not being, like, self-centered and egotistical. Or any of the negative baggage that comes with the word, usually. Being selfish is just taking care of the self, to me. And I think that's a good thing. Self-sacrifice, yeah. It's a very destructive thing, potentially. In a lot of ways, self-sacrifice is always destructive. In some sense or another. Like, it's not good to sacrifice the self as an organism, right? From a naturalistic perspective. I'm sorry, my ingot's hot. I can't do it. You're gonna have to come back another time, customer. I'm forging a sword. I am forging a sword. Come back another time. This sword isn't hot. From a naturalistic perspective, like, altruism is a very strange thing. Especially altruism that is so self-sacrificing that it causes you to sacrifice your own life. From a species perspective, it makes sense. From an individual perspective, the evolution of it doesn't make any sense because you're not really furthering your genes. So, there is that perspective, sure. That's very self-destructive. I would not recommend it. Like, I'm very happy if people give or care about others who are less fortunate. Things like that. But at the same time, it's very dangerous. So you gotta be careful. Yeah. Now about the movie. I wanted to do more with the Jekyll and Hyde collab. Like, that's what it was. It was supposed to be a Jekyll and Hyde collab. The Ghostbusters video project. I wanted to have it so that we were both there on the screen at both times, and we were talking at the same time, potentially. I already tempered this sword, didn't I? Do you think I need to temper it again? Probably not. Gotta be careful. Well, I don't usually live by my own advice, but maybe I should, you know? It's one of those things where you gotta take your own advice sometimes, yeah. Hyde does his own thing. It is forged. Are you kidding me? They're telling me this isn't a sword. It looks like a sword. I swear that's a sword. Okay. Fine. So, what? Oh, okay. I do have another movie night planned. I don't know when that's gonna be. Maybe soon. It's going to be an old movie. Public domain. I know exactly which one I want to play. It's one I enjoy quite a bit. And maybe it'll make sense that I enjoy movies like it. Maybe it'll make sense. I really like clever movies, right? That's one of the things I like. Great. Okay. Just random crash, sure. Whoop. That happens from time to time, you know? Did I mention that the select button for this game is ZR? That's what most people would have the A button to be. Makes fantastic sense to me. On its own, no. You have to set that up. Just water today. So, I guess I should show the settings when we get in the game. You see that? I just press down and it sends me to the corner. That's why I don't want to show the settings. Such a pain. But we'll show the settings. I have it set to auto-save every 5 minutes, so I didn't lose too much progress there. I don't know if I... Oh, I have to temper the sword again? Wait, what? Okay. I'll show you the settings after I finish forging this sword, I guess. Yeah, originally it's not turned on. So you gotta be careful. Do. Okay, there we go. We're gonna temper this, and then I will show you the magic settings that I wanted to show you earlier. Like at the start of the stream, I wanted to show off the settings. I just got into it. This game's a lot of fun. But it does randomly crash. It is the buggiest game that I've ever played. Hands down, it is the buggiest game that I have ever played. Sword is not tempered. Okay, fine. Show the settings anyway. So, here are the settings. We have brightness. I have pretty much maxed. I have the gamma up slightly. We have autosave. It is set to default off. Or you can have any of these variations of autosave. I have it set to 5 minutes, because you cannot do multiple save files. There is no, like, save button. We have cursor and FOV, and these do nothing. Like, I can turn this up all the way. And look what happens when I go back. We'll go back here. Look, it does nothing. It has no point. That's great. And really, that's it. That's the setting. There's no save button. There's nothing. You can't do the saves. It will save when you exit to the main menu, but that's not ideal, is it? Right? Like, that's not ideal. I would rather have... I, I hate it. I just want to play your game. Why do you do this to me? Yeah, yeah, we might have lost this save file too. Originally, I was thinking about playing until my save ended up destroyed. Until I could no longer play because of bugs. I think we might be there. Also, I'm not showing my Switch as much as possible, just to not spoil potential things I want to play. It is very grumpy tonight. It's actually a lot better than I thought it would be. Like, I've had more problems with this game. I have a lot of games that I've been buying and hoarding, and just... Ooh, did you see that pop in? And I haven't played them yet. So, I want to save them. I have a lot of surprises if I eventually get to them. I do want to play Ghostbusters next. I gotta finish editing what I have. And after I finish editing what I have, just make sure you're in the fire and not in the side of the forge there. After finishing what I have, I'll probably use that as a stream game, maybe? I don't know, maybe once or twice, every now and then, as a little treat to myself. I never actually beat the Ghostbusters game. Not even the unremastered one. Like, I got to the final level. I do that a lot with video games. I just get to the final level and I say to myself, it's such a great experience. I don't want it to end. You ever do that with a game? You ever just have so much fun with a game that you don't want it to end? That's how I feel. Where am I going? That's how I always feel with games that I really enjoy. Please, please. They could have done something better there. Answer with a mithril pickaxe in my hand, sure. Hello? Hello? No. No, I don't have any. Go away. I don't know if those are real people. I don't think they are. Yeah, it says something about me, I'm sure. I'm no, I'm no Freud. I'm no Jung. So, yeah, I'm definitely no Jung. I'm very old. I'm no Jung. But, yeah, I don't know. Please? Please? I'm trying to click. You know what's messing me up? I have the cursor on my screen while I'm looking at this. Okay, you're good. I didn't know where that was saved. Yeah, the cursor is messing me up. I'm gonna take that off my screen after a second here. After I get this tempered. There we go. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, the fact that I can't let good stories end, that I don't want to hear at the end of good stories, is very... I don't know. I live for a good story. I live for interesting things. I think it's cool. You know, when a story is good and interests me, I want to hear more of it. I always try to imagine more of it. Whatever ending a story gets, I'm usually disappointed by, right? I can't think of very many satisfying endings. I always feel like more is better when it comes to a story. Okay, I'll tell you what. That's not entirely true. I can think of plenty of times when I wish that there were less of a story. Those happen to be isekai light novel trash, right? I've read several isekai series where there are just like, here's, I guess, book 24. Enjoy. And I'm like, no, please end the series. Please end the series. One of my favorite series for the longest time was called Lazy Dungeon Master, and there were plenty of things to hate about the series. But he just got reincarnated as a dungeon master, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the story. just seeing how he treated people like cattle, essentially, to farm points for his dungeon. He was just a very lazy, very clever hero. And I like that kind of story. The art? It was a little bit too much for me. Some of the themes? A little bit too much for me. But the humor, I liked a great deal. And I thought to myself, around, I guess it was book 9 or 8, this series is going on for too long. And I think it ended on 15, with the publisher saying, you know what? Finish your story. You're gonna have a couple more books. Finish it at 15. Yes, very... the art's a bit too much for me. Should I talk about it? Jekyll would be happy to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. The main character has a foot fetish. Okay? I do not have a foot fetish. I don't even like feet. I really hate feet. Like, I talk about hand toes, but really, there is no worse insult than I can think of. I hate feet. Yeah. Feet gross me out. They're elongated hands. And they're very gross. It's not what you were expecting? Well, that's usually not what you're gonna get. If you expect one thing, you're not gonna get it. I don't look at them as much as possible. I know it sounds weird, but I try not to look at my own feet as much as possible. I wear socks, I wear slippers, I wear shoes, and I try not to look at my feet. It's the toes, right? Like, I don't care if I see socks on them. That's fine. It doesn't gross me out. It's when I see those short, stubby little fingers on the end of the elongated palm. That's what freaks me out. I can feel my feet, but I don't look at them. I don't see them. Are you aware of the anatomical structure of your bones? Maybe you are. I'm not, and as such, it does not bother me. It's looking at them that bothers me. I hate it. Ugh, they creep me out. Like, we were just talking about the vitreous texture of this mithril stuff, right? I hate it almost as much as I hate the look of a foot. Where is Ice? You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I hate the entire structure of the foot, or if I just hate toes. I'd have to think about that. That's an interesting point, and I've never before thought about it, because I've never had a desire to think about it before. You know? That's one of those thoughts where I could have just lived my entire life without ever thinking it. And I think my life would have been better had I not. Yeah. Ugh. They creep me out. I really hate them. Because, yeah, they really are, well, actually, are they? Shoes with toes. Yeah, I've seen those, thank you, yes. Usually I give people the uncomfortable thoughts. And now you have learned one of my uncomfortable thoughts, along with the vitreous texture, so that's 2 tonight. Yeah, that's a twofer. Giving them away for free here. Toe shoes. I have seen toe shoes. You know what? I think I'm actually okay with toe shoes. Like, not in the sense that they exist, but if I had to look at toes, I'd rather look at them through toe shoes than looking at them directly. So yeah, in that sense, I think toe shoes are better than just foot. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, very interesting character designs. Wild story. Once he had a daughter, I kind of checked out, because the daughter was even worse than him, in terms of... Well, his daughter really liked socks, like used socks, and at that point I was just like, maybe this story isn't for me anymore. It was very cute at first. It was just kind of like a romance between the dungeon master and the dungeon core's personification. I thought it was a cute story, you know? I like a little bit of romance in my isekai stories. It spices things up, it adds human elements. It's a very human thing. Yes. Yes, but no. Look, how do I explain this? It wasn't like a real child. It was like a new dungeon core. And technically it was a child. It was really weird, okay? And the fact that she liked socks. She was like born as a toddler that liked socks. I don't like that. You know, that seems weird to me. But she like a fully formed adult. It's Japan, you know? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have a bunch of crazy stories, okay? I came in it, and there was this one core, and the story just had goblins, okay? Yeah. Like, when I came into the story, it was just goblins in a cave. I thought, okay, cool, cool. And then they would farm people for dungeon points. No, I don't have any magic swords, go away. And I thought that would be great, you know? To see dungeon management in the sense where the person wasn't trying to kill people, he was just trying to get people to stay in his dungeon to farm dungeon points, because he was very lazy. That's the draw of the series, right? Lazy dungeon master. How do you be a dungeon master while being as lazy as possible? And how do you get out of all of these different situations that you get dragged into? Because you have to be dragged into situations when you're lazy, right? Otherwise your story doesn't have conflict, and conflict is essential for good storytelling. Yeah, if you don't have conflict, your story's going to be very boring. So always write conflict first, rather than add it on later. I think that's probably what I hated most about the series towards the end. All of the conflict seemed very forced, like everything seemed resolved. Everything that should have been resolved seemed like it was resolved way earlier, and the stories just dragged on and on. I don't think there needed to be 15. I really enjoyed the series, as far as isekai trash goes, and I wouldn't mind seeing an anime adaptation of it, so long as they stop before the child is born. Making money, yes. Well, I don't know if the author actually had any other works. Like, I know there was that anime adaptation of making 80,000 gold in another world or whatever. And the author of that series had other series that I liked as well. Isekai stories starring females, roughly the same age, roughly the same personality. You could do that too, right? Just rewrite your same character and story arc in a different setting with a slightly different person, right? You don't have to tell the same story for the same person until the end of their life. Jobless reincarnation. Rudius Grey Rat. Oh, I hated the ending. I hated that ending. Oh, we have gold ore. Do you see that? We have gold ore. We struck gold. It's called golden ore. Okay. Lazy Mechanism. Well, yeah. Like, I don't fault them for making money. They worked hard. They finally got a story recognized. I know how hard it is to get stories recognized. How hard it is to get published, I don't know in Japan. But being published is tough, no matter what you're writing. Here's my coal ore. So yeah, I get it. If you finally hit your successful point, capitalize, why not? Especially if you're making good money off of it. And, I guess all it takes is hitting the right fetish, right? And then you'll become successful. I kinda... Have I written anything? Yeah, I've written things. I've talked about... Have I talked about? Well, there are some things that might be identifiable, so... I can only say, probably? I've written things. I definitely used to write a lot more. And, have I published anything? That depends. That depends on where we're talking about. I was in science, right? I was in sciences somewhere. So it's possible that maybe that's what I mean, right? Yeah. Look, I gotta protect myself here. There was knocking on this door, wasn't there? Yeah, pretty sure there was knocking on that door. But yeah, I gotta protect myself too, you know? Like, there are some real strange people out there on the internet. I didn't used to worry about it too much, back in the old days. Nowadays, like, I gotta really be concerned about it. Because, people will try to ruin your life from time to time. Yeah. Just teasing. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that's all it is, because I didn't know how serious it was before. But apparently it is. It's a serious thing. People, for whatever reason, get it in their heads that, well, you know, you're the fault. You're the bane of their existence or something. They hate you, whatever. And then they'll just target you forever. For whatever reason. No, not like you. You're not even... You're not even on Jekyll's level, you know? It's perfectly fine. I mean people trying to do actual damage to you. It's ridiculous, you know? Like, I just want to make my videos. I never realized how much people would, you know, go after you. Oh. That's never good. Like, don't you have the anti-odor, or, yeah, the anti-odor... what were they called? Zeolith? Xeno? Zeolite? Was it zeolites? Zeolites are naturally occurring minerals with very absorbent structures, if I remember correctly. Getting a cat litter with zeolites, whether they're artificial or natural, really helps with odor. Oh, I see. What are you feeding your cat? Wet foods? I find wet foods are, although ideal for giving taurine, yeah, it definitely can cause that problem. Would not recommend, other than, you know, have to recommend for dietary needs. Definitely not good though. That is like one of the problems with being a cat owner, right? Like, cats need a litter box. There's no getting around it. Yeah, kidney issues. Definitely taurine, right? Pretty sure a lot of cats that have taurine issues have kidney issues, or vice versa. Like, I don't think any cats can actually manufacture taurine in their bodies. We have a cross. Let's put it in the skull section with the others. Yeah, wet food is a lot better in general. Like, it's... There aren't any kibble plants out there, you know, growing in nature. Kibbles don't fall from trees. I'm a big proponent of people and animals and plants living in conditions that are, you know, close to what they were evolving in. So, not sending a plant to Antarctica, for example. No, I do not have any ancient rare artifacts. Not sending cats to the moon, because, you know, there are just so many different variables on the moon, but gravity amongst them being so much lesser. I do worry that humans going out into space is a bad idea as well. Nope, cats can't make taurine. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think any cat can, no. That's what I heard. I haven't tested every cat in the world, but I'd believe it, you know? I gotta clean these things up, you know? I gotta have them clean. Now that I know that the game will bug out and crash if I don't have everything cleaned up, ignore that on the floor over there. I'll get to it. Now that I know that things will bug out and crash, I've been very meticulous with things that go up on the floor up here. Like, I don't mind down there in the mine, because the only thing that's going to regenerate is the walls. But the stuff up here on the floor, anything could go down on it and create some kind of crash in this buggy code, right? Like, I could put an altar. It's an altar that goes here. And that's... oh, it's a magic wall. I can walk right through. And that's what crashed my game for my first save. I don't want that. What am I holding? A handle. Okay. Yeah, it's not ideal. Really not ideal. I'd be much happier leaving it in piles on the floor. Oh, I missed this. I'd be much happier just leaving it on piles on the floor, because reaching into those shelves, as convenient as it is to have them all placed neatly, it takes forever with this system. Especially with the interface being as convenient as it is. I know I'm making this game sound pretty bad, like I'm not enjoying it, but I am. I really am. Like, I hope that's obvious that I enjoy this game quite a bit. Yeah. Unfortunately, I am burning out here. I pushed myself a bit more, because I wanted to talk a bit more, especially about the project, and I had other topics as well. I think I've said pretty much everything I wanted to say, though, you know? I'm very happy with how it turned out. I did want to do a little bit more back and forth, and I wanted it to be more natural. The flow isn't quite right. The scripting wasn't quite paced well. I think a better storyboard or timeline would help me with that. So if I ever do it again in the future, I'm gonna try to improve it again, right? Like, that's all I want to do when I create things. I want to keep improving my content. I felt like it was pretty cheap content. Thank you, thank you. I'm happy if you thought so. I feel like the indie game stuff is what most people want to see, and I like the indie game stuff. I really do. I really enjoy the indie game stuff, and I like playing the indie games. When I do the indie game stuff, it's my first reaction to the game, right? And that's what I want to capture. But when I do that, I can't really go back and forth with different personas. I can't be Id and Hyde and Jekyll at the same time. I'm not clever enough. Yes, I do have it. Oh, you're buying one of my other cheap swords. Great, fantastic. Great. Just buy all of my cheap swords. Don't buy any of the expensive ones. Why would you do that? It's an expensive sword, right? I only have a 4,000 gold sword up there on the wall. The last indie game that I played, I can't remember what it was, but I know... I think it was the id one. The id one that had Jekyll make an appearance. I want to do more of that kind of stuff, right? Like, I think that's a lot of fun, having interactions between different characters. I grew up watching Two Best Friends play, and I wanted to do more content like Two Best Friends Play, where there's a back and forth between people, and I'm stuck in a wall. Why am I stuck in a wall? Thank you. Thank you for building that right on top of me. So, I don't know. I don't know if Two Best Friends is even relevant these days. They were big Let's Players back in early YouTube eras. Nowadays, though, you know, they're probably forgotten, if I had to guess. It's kind of sad if you think about it. One day that's gonna be my legacy too, as a YouTube creator, to be forgotten. But I won't have been remembered by nearly as many people. I don't think it's really the era of YouTube Let's Plays anymore. So, maybe I'm making content that really doesn't have as much demand anymore, right? Like, when I go to YouTube, I like watching video essays and story recaps. So maybe that's really what I should be making if I want to be remembered. But that's not what I want to make, you know? Like, I can see why people might not like my content. And at the same time, I'm not going to do anything differently. I'm not out here chasing numbers. Oops. Well, there goes my torch. I want to make things that I want to make. And I want to improve the skills that I feel like improving. That's my right as a human being, right? Something approximating a human being, at least. Yeah, what makes me happy? I do enough in my life that doesn't make me happy. And I think this is true for all people. It's not me being a downer or anything. I'm just saying that we all do enough in our lives that doesn't make us happy. That we really should try to do things that make us happy, right? Like, if you have free time, please do not feel bad about spending it on yourself. Like, that's why I started making videos in the first place. I started feeling really bad about getting into Backpack Hero, right? The first videos on my channel are a roguelike. I don't have any voiceovers. I didn't narrate anything, I didn't talk. I didn't even have a model back then. I was just recording my Backpack Hero runs and putting them up because I was having fun with the game. And I thought, okay, well, maybe if I make these, other people can see what I build as I'm making my run, and maybe they'll enjoy that, right? Maybe they'll get some ideas for themselves. Or eventually at the end, I started making little challenges for myself, saying that I could only use items that started with the word B or with the little letter B. Things like that. I thought that was fun, you know? I even took a challenge from one of the viewers who watched it, which was very hard. I don't know if I actually finished it, the challenge, you know? But I felt bad because I was spending like... Here's the irony of it. I was spending like 2 hours a day playing a video game that I enjoyed after doing everything else that I needed to do. Isn't that messed up? Like, isn't that the worst thing? That people feel bad doing something for 2 hours that they enjoy because they could be doing something quote-unquote productive with their time. yeah, 2 hours, you know? Like, that's 2 runs of Backpack Hero. Maybe 3. I don't remember. But 2 to 3 hours of something you enjoy per day? Like, come on, that's not bad. It wasn't even every day, right? Like, I couldn't play the game every day. Yeah. So I don't know. I just think that's kind of an indication of how I feel about where we are as a species. I think we're gonna end it there, right? Like, I'm not pessimistic, because I found a way to, do what I like while doing what I like, right? Like, I don't feel bad, because I stream and I make videos and I play games, so I don't feel bad. Like, even the stuff that I did off camera, this is an upgraded anvil. This is a level 3 furnace. Like, this stuff took time, but I don't feel bad about it, because it was in preparation for tonight, right? Whatever makes you feel less bad about doing the things you enjoy, I think that's probably a good thing, right? So long as you can look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day, I think that's good. Even if you're being selfish about it, I think that's good. Yeah, the human soul needs that kind of stuff. It needs that kind of nourishment. And even if it isn't 2 hours, even if it's like 10 hours, whatever you need to do, so long as you can, you know, can do it, I think that's fine too. Yeah. There isn't one way to live life, and I'm happy with the one I'm living now. Yeah. Oh, not fond of mirrors. Well, that's 1 for me and 2 for you. Yeah. I had a lot of fun though. I like this game, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation, and the forging, and all of the bugs. We didn't even see that many today, just a couple crashes. I will say, before I go, I started recording, so I can upload this without any of the annoying internet outings. And then, yeah, then you can see the difference. Yeah, had a good time. I'll see you again next time. But for now, hide out. Yeah, I love you all. Good night. Hyde needs to rest. Yes, always nice. Good night.